It's a first in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Week number 13 is here. We've done week 13 races before, but day one of micro sprints and an iRacing. After a wait that lasted just about 6 to 8 hours, the anticipation is finally here. It's the Tulsa Shootout with the non-winged sprint cars, and we're so glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We're excited for this one at the Tulsa Expo Center. Marty Sakala with you, joined alongside Zach Chapman. Zach, who knows what's going to happen here? Day one of this race car. Nobody's got a setup. Not a lot of people have paint schemes off for trading paint, but this one is going to be a whole lot of fun to watch. What's it like driving one of these things?
You know, somebody else said it, and I couldn't agree with them more, but I don't want to take the credit for it. But somebody else in the league said it. I really do have a new respect for the people who drive these things in real life, because I always thought, man, a bunch of kids, a bunch of cautions all the time. Well, you know, iRacing does a pretty good job of nailing down the sim. Man, these things are difficult to drive, Marty. A lot of throttle control, way more than I thought, and it's going to be an interesting night for everybody tonight, that's for sure.
I think I was the one that said that these cars are crazy to drive. So it's like a midget, a dirt midget. It's kind of powerful at the same time, but it is pretty cool to watch. Let's take you back on the track. Here is iRacing's description of a micro sprint car, and they're pretty cool descriptions here. Anyway, so we'll pull it up here. We just had the notes crash on us, so. But this is pretty much a 600cc race car, a 4-stroke motorcycle engine that puts out 160 horsepower, 780 pounds its weight, a 5-speed transmission too. That's an interesting point here, Zach. You have to shift with these cars.
Yeah, a lot of guys, when we were warming up, were debating tonight whether third or fourth. I find myself using third. I just don't think you can wind up fourth enough. And these things, they have no trouble turning 1,400 or 14,000 RPMs, which is pretty unbelievable. But they're going to scream at the end of the straightaway tonight.
Without question, they will. And you see them on the racetrack. Let's talk about what is going on here. So this is pretty much going to be soup night tonight. We'll begin tonight here with an E-main for some of the drivers that we have on the racetrack. And we are taking the top 4 out of each to the next main. Between, I believe, the C and the B main, we will have our pole scramble to determine the front of the starting lineup for the feature. Drivers that are currently in the pole scramble include, I believe, if I got this correct, Randy Schraes, Jeff Barker, Zach Chapman, Brandon Dittmer, Dan McLaren, Blake Chapman, Brennan Lacey, and Steven Goldner. They will all be competing for the top 8 spots this
Yeah, so that'll be 3 races. You know,
yes.
They'll do 4 cars, then take 2, then 4, then take 2. So that'll be pretty neat.
Absolutely. So for those that are watching and you are in a race, stand by. We will call out when the next main is about to begin. So the E through C main will be 15 laps each. Our pole scrambles will be 4 laps each. The B main is 20 laps, and tonight's feature, 55 laps. You see the times here on the top left of your screen. And Keith Jackson is currently quickest, the number 113 with a 10:24. Brian Moore, Senior, the first driver out on track of the 5:58 with a 10:77. Also, I've got some other drivers coming out of the racetrack like Isaac Salas, Ross Corrin, and Sam Bachman. Let's go on board for a lap here with Isaac Salas. Show you what it looks like at this racetrack. Well, maybe not.
We tried.
Yes. How about Sam Bachman in the 107? You're going just about the speed limit from the interstate to the speed limit in your local village. But these cars are definitely a handle to drive. and they will be a lot of fun to race throughout the night here, Zach.
Yeah, and you know, Marty, something else. I mean, they cause trouble in any car, that's for sure. But that infield berm there, these micros are really light. If you get that thing up on the berm, man, those things go flying. And I'm sure we'll see some of that tonight.
As we get set to go, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat and who's watching. Jason Butterfield checking in. Coincidentally, he is in the process of helping his buddy finish building his micro sprint for the season. So, a perfect time to join for sure. There you get a look at the engines on the left. These cars are not push starters. They do have an ignition in them and are easy to fire up. So I believe we may be waiting for one more driver. That may be Trent Verstraeten. Don't quote me on that, but I know that we did have a bunch of drivers did have some technical difficulties while coming on in today. Once the update finished up, a lot of drivers were having issues downloading the new updates and getting everything all set to go. Anthony Morano, the number 32. You may see a lot of all black paint schemes, but it is okay. We will have everything figured out here for you this evening. So don't worry about that. There you see Ross Corinna on the number 10, who is getting set to go tonight. So, Zach, I guess I'll ask you this, and we just got the checkered here. What are you watching out for closely here as we get set for the first race?
Just, I mean, you always have to be aware of it in the sprint car, but this especially, you really, really got to back up corner entry, especially the first turn here. It's going to be pretty wild. You can't drive these things in real deep on the throttle, or they tend to want to get sideways on you. So you're not only doing that for safety to not get sideways, but you don't want to run over the guy in front of you. And if you do get sideways and lose a couple spots, you know, laps here only 10 seconds. So you make one mistake, you can go a lap down real fast.
Let's give you the starting lineup here. And it is Ross Corinna on pole position. Next to him, Isaac Salas of the 5. Row number 2, Anthony Morano, who is in the number 32 next to Sam Bachman in the 107. Connor Ross in row number 3 in the inside of the number 35. Scott Williams to his outside of the 444. Row 4, Dean Reynolds in the 79 and Joe Canellis in the 1. Your final 4 drivers, Logan Wentz in the 118, Brian Moore Sr. in the 558, Pat Boyce in the 41, Greg Parmalee in the 4, round out the field. The drivers all on the bottom, I believe, are already in the show, or, well, in a further main.
Oh, let's
go.
Time to start the fireworks show.
Time to kick the tires and light the fire. Top 4 transfer underway here at the Tulsa Shootout. Good jump from Isaac Salas off for turn number 2. A lot of drivers, I believe, are crashing behind him, and they are. Yellow flag is out. That's Greg Parmalee in the 4 that went around early. Take a look at a Malcolm's replay and show you what happened. This was at the start of the race. Oh, big checkup. Probably got turned off the bumper of Pat Boyce. That was Logan Wentz, who I think caught the wall pretty good. Let's take a ride on board here with Logan. Moving at a snail's pace, coming to the green flag, and as we're shifting, he touched tires. That could be suspension damage, but these cars are, I guess you could say, a little tougher to damage compared to like a sprint car, obviously, as that has a lot more aerodynamics to it, Zach.
Yeah, definitely. I kissed this thing off the wall a couple times test driving and warming up. It doesn't seem to be as fragile either on the suspension as the sprint cars, but only time will tell here is it's a new car for us.
Green flag, green
Corinna, the control car, as he fires, we're back to the green flag. Old serve on Isaac Salas. Good race for second between Salas and Ross. That's Salas the outside. Ross is on the bottom. One driver up in the air. And we're under caution once again. Checking to see who that may have been. There was a car on two wheels. That may have been Anthony Morano in the 32. These caution laps do go quick here, so. Here's Morano in the back.
Joe Canellis was the one that rode the wall in the red car.
Here's a look at Smoking Joe. Or Joe Dirt, correction. Caught the wall, rode it. Kept it in. Now this is what caused the accident. If we can rewind the footage one more time here. Logan Wentz was at a stop. I think either he got loose or had to check up for something. So coming to one lap to green. Again, it's Ross Corina that will bring us back down for the restart. Let's see if we can get a green flag lap in, hopefully. 2 cautions to begin our E-main this evening.
Green flag, green flag.
All right, green flag is out, back underway. We're gonna hold serve. Salas gives him a little bit of a bumper as the field makes the way off for turn number 4. Contact between Salas and Ross. The number 35 hangs onto it. And now Salas looks low. Around he goes as Corina slammed the door. We stay green as Salas is below the track. And now we go to caution. He may have caught a break.
Oh, wow. Somebody made contact with Dean Reynolds going down the backstretch and almost went in the stands.
I think that was Brian Moore Sr. in the 558. Let's take a look and show you what happened. Here's Dino. There you see Salas went around. Reynolds had to check up, and there's contact with Brian Moore Sr. He was the one that rammed the tires. I rammed that earlier on when I was in testing. That's something you don't want to hit for sure. Let's go on board with Brian. Racing for position. And we're using the gyro cam here this evening because that is normally what you see these open cockpit sprint cars like to use all the time. As we're coming back to green, we've got 10 laps to go.
Green flag
Here in the E-main. Corina holds serve. Remember, Isaac Salas spun, and I believe they did count the lap, so that's why we did not. That's why he is not in the second spot. It's Connor Ross at P2 as they race for the lead. As we finally complete a green flag lap, Pat Boyce nearly loses it. That's Salas looking to his inside to take away the 5th spot. And he's got it from for now, Zach. Remember, the top 4 transfer is currently Joe Canellis. That's the final spot.
Yeah, Isaac's definitely got to be a little frustrated trying to come back up to the field. He had second, maybe making a pass for the lead. But I think if he can get the 4th, he'll be a little calm. But he's got to be aggressive until then.
Ross Corina still hanging on to the lead by 2/10 on Connor Ross. Ross trying to find a way back down the inside as the leaders approach some lap traffic. Hanging on, though, for right now. Salas has now made his way up to the 4th position, past Canellis. And is starting to run away from it as we have 5 laps to go in this battle for the lead taking place. Here comes Ross underneath Corina to turn 1, Zach.
Yeah, Connor able to get a big run off the corner and get into him.
Oh, this may not be secured, though.
Nope, he's going to have to give it back, Marty.
Scott Rayome has crashed it. And this will set up about a 4-lap shootout or so. Caught the wall, and around he went. That's a perfect entry into the ramp right there, Zach. He may not be getting involved in a fight though.
No, I think he'd rather be out on the track, but he did go out in style. With only a couple laps to go here, Joe Canellis has to be real aggressive on this start. He saw Isaac Salas pulled away from him under green. He's got to go after that last transfer spot right away.
How aggressive does he get against an experienced dirt driver like Salas?
I mean, Isaac definitely one of the more experienced we have, but his brand new car, Marty, level playing field tonight.
3 to go. Now we'll see if Connor Ross as well can get past Corona. Remember, if he passes him, that's a spot better towards the feature, towards the next main, the D main. Salas attacking Bachman for third. Here's the race for the lead. Good run for Connor Ross. Now can he secure it at the line? Up the hill he goes just briefly, hangs on to it. Ross leads. We're on the white flag. Fourth
Connor
spot.
finally able to get it done. Half a lap to go here.
Connor Ross, your race leader off of turn 4, wins the E-main. The final driver in, that's the 5 of Isaac Salas, Canellis, Reynolds, Boyce, Parmalee, and Moore Sr. to the ramp to have a beer early. So it's Connor Ross, that's your winner in the E-main, and we'll get the the results here pulled up from this E-main. Ross is the winner by 7/10 of a second on Ross Corinna. Sam Bachman third. Isaac Salas will start last in the D main. That's followed by Canellis, Reynolds, Boyce, Parmalee, Senior, Rayome, Morano, and Wentz. Right now, we're going to step aside and take a break. Again, if you're in the D main, that is coming up next. Drivers are loading in. We'll take a quick break. Stay with us, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Right when we were talking about it. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
All right, drivers, welcome back. Hey, just a couple of heads up. That last race, they actually took 7, not 4. So if you did finish 5 through 7, good news. You are in the next event. Coming up, our D main, which will be taking the top 6. And again, if you are in that D main, our room is being created shortly. So stand by for when that goes up. Zach, you wanted to show something else too that looked pretty cool as we were coming back from break.
Yes, as if the league doesn't reward you enough with like driver of the week medals, win stickers, stuff like that. They rewarded champions this year with pretty cool trophies, and I was lucky enough to win the Raiders 360 championship. So I wanted to give a shout out to the league, a quick thank you for the awesome trophy, and it's definitely going to go on the shelf with the other ones. So I really appreciate it.
Good to hear. All right, D session is being created. You can join that room in just a matter of moments. We will take another break here. Again, D main is coming up next on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Right when we were talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Your D-main session is up, drivers. Again, your D-main session is up. If you are racing in the D-main, it is up, and we are moments away from getting going with that. 15 laps, and we are taking the top 6. Steven Spees checking in. Thanks for joining us this evening. He is rooting for Connor Ross. He says rooting for Daddy's money. Jason Butterfield rooting for Isaac Salas, and the micro he's got has a GSXR 600. Nice. Zach, the mayor, says that Shaggy better start building on a bigger trophy case now that he's on direct drive.
Yeah, that would be a good problem to have. I hope I can 1 year have a season like Anthony Morano just had. Pretty amazing, that guy. He won, I think, 4 championships this season. I'd be happy to even win 2 in one season, let alone 1 again. But we'll see, Steven.
So again, D-main session is underway, and we are currently in warm-ups. And right now it is Mr. Solace as the quickest driver in 11.67. Keith Jackson out there in the 113. He actually has the exact same lap time as Isaac Solace with a 11.666. Sam Bachman in the 107, currently third quickest. And Jackson just went 11.36. I was doing laps on this earlier today, Zach. I think I was running an 11.8, which, I mean, for the first day is not bad.
No. I started to grind there in that other room that they had open. I got down to a high 11.4, but some of those guys are in the 11.2s and 3s, so they are already out there fast as lightning. And no surprise, Brandon Dittmer was one of them. So look out for the Spider Monkey later.
Absolutely. Dittmer was the quickest of everybody, I believe, in our practice session that we were running earlier today. So Jackson could be a threat out here tonight, too. He's always good in any car, whatever it is. Take you on board for a lap or so. Let's go on board with Bachman in number 107. You see, he's just been taking it nice and easy. Because, you know, just with the way the track is slickened up here, he's just taking it nice and easy. Doesn't want to spin the car out like he nearly did there.
Yeah, I noticed in the iRacing settings they're going to change the track settings when they go to the race. It's going to go back to 5%. This track's pretty wore out. You're seeing Samuel, he was struggling there in the middle bottom. You're seeing guys like, right now, Donovan Ross, he's running that high side, and he's going pretty quick up there, actually. I'm kind of surprised at how he's moving along up there.
Take a look at turn at the corners as well. There's a pretty thick cushion starting to develop here at the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what kind of racing you like. If you haven't watched the Chili Bowl before, oh my gosh, you're missing out. And if you have watched it, you know just how exciting they are and what kind of atmosphere it is there all week. This is definitely a highlight of the race season.
The cushion is always thick as well, the Chili Bowl. Donovan Ross, I know that this car is a trading paint scheme because when I went on trading paints before the race began, there were not a lot of schemes that were created. This was one of the schemes that was created. So Devo, bringing out the emergency scheme, to say the least. And he's testing out the cushion, currently 5th quickest.
Yeah, he is. Like I said, I mean, I'm anxious. I'd love to know. We don't get the actual data, but I'd love to know if maybe he's shifting it all up there because he's got to be carrying a lot of speed. But he's making it work. If they wouldn't reset the track, we might have been in for a real racy track here.
When he comes on, if he comes on track now, we're gonna listen on board with him. But when you look at the telemetry of the drivers here, you see with Sam Bachman, he's in 4th gear. You know, a lot of drivers were debating, you know what, should we do 4th gear or should we do 3rd gear? What should we do? And stuff like that. Let's see here, what are all the drivers doing? Keith Jackson's running on 3rd gear, just trying to get more revs and a better turnoff.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be in that boat as well. You got to be much more easy on the throttle when you're going to run 3rd gear, but you're going to have higher payoff if you're in the tack for sure.
Yeah, I'm more of a 3rd gear guy here too. Let's go with Devo.
I'll be anxious to see, Marty, if we ever take these into an open class. And now that, you know, we know these things shift. I never knew they shifted before. You could see guys really do some things with setups. Have a lower gear for if they need to run the bottom and then have an extra one for the top. You'd see guys play around with a lot. These are going to be a fun car.
Devo's in third gear for those wondering. You can see as well the RPM on your screen, just barely. In one of those green boxes that's over. They put out a lot of RPM, over 10,000. All right, warm-ups are complete. So with that, we're set to go. Let's meet your starting lineup for our D main this evening. Donovan Ross on pole position. Or, nope, I'm sorry, correction. Is that the right one? All right, I think we're having some technical difficulties on our end with our grid.
No, I think that's right. They were talking, I heard them earlier. They were just random pill drawing everything, so it didn't really matter if you qualified in the back.
All right, yeah, we got it correct now. Donovan Ross on pole position, the 5 next to Bill Calder in the 325. Row 2, Keith Jackson in the 113, next to Canada Connor Ross in the 35. Row 3, the boss, Ross Corinna in the 10, and Sam Bachman in the 107. Row 4, slide job, Isaac Salas in the 5, and Joe Canellis in the 1. Rounding out the field, Dean Reynolds in the 79, and Pat Boyce in the 41. Again, we are taking the top 6 to the feature.
Over under 1 lap.
C main, correction. We will see, but green flag is out. We're underway. I don't think they make it a lap. I think they make it half a lap. 3 wide already for the 3rd spot. Donovan Ross comes out with the early race lead. See, Bill Calder hops the cushion, but lap 1 is led by Devo. Final transfer spot belongs to Isaac Salas. He is in that 5th position. Sam Bachman trying to go around the outside. Good start here all around. One driver's pulled off track. Believe that was Calder. And now you see Dean Reynolds has slotted its way into 6. Ross Corinna currently the last one out. Or the first one out, I should say. Reynolds maybe trying to look longer way around, but a challenge for the race lead is breaking out here. Donovan and Connor Ross for P2. Remember, where Connor Ross started, he started in the 4th spot.
Yeah, he was able to get a good jump there on Bill Calder going into turn 1 and clear him almost immediately to get to 3rd, and now he's just been slowly working his way up. Connor's been strong, as we saw in the D main.
Keith Jackson, meanwhile, racking off quick lap times. 10:54, the best lap of anybody right now as things stand. We put our eyes on the final transfer spot. Dean Reynolds and Ross Corinna for 6th as we complete lap number 7, lap number 8 next time by.
Yeah, Dean's got a mirror full, 1 mistake, and Ross is right there, so Dean's got to stay smooth these last 7 laps. Ooh, Ross hit the berm.
Yeah, bad exit. The driver of the number 10, he hits the berm once again. That's just time that Corinna is wasting as he tries to send it in. 6 laps to go.
Yeah, Dean's doing a good job of running that middle line on entry and then diamonding off, not really giving Ross anywhere to go, and it's got to be frustrating as you see Ross is overdriving it and Dean's pulling away.
If you're wondering what it looks like to steer inside one of these babies, there you go. Big berm hit for the 10, and now Dean's advantage is 1.1 seconds. Race now breaking out. Was for 3rd, the closest race between Salas and Ross, but it doesn't seem to be the case. But it's all been Keith Jackson so far in that number 113. We're coming to 2 laps to go this time by here, Zach.
Yeah, you pointed him out on the warm-ups how smooth he was. Keith's always quick, and here with 1 to go, he's making it look pretty easy. Or I guess about to get 1 to go. I can't ever tell here.
Final lap underway, and again, top 6 all transfer in. Final transfer spot belongs to Dino. He's got nearly a second advantage on Ross Corinna. Everyone keeps it clean today. Keith Jackson takes the win in the D main. Connor Ross 2nd, Isaac Salas 3rd, Donovan Ross 4th, Sam Bachman 5th, Dean Reynolds 6th. Ross Corinna actually crashed at the white flag. Let's show you real quick what happened. Hey, we could say at least if you're Ross Corinna, he went out swinging.
Yeah, and hats off to these guys. I slapped them in the face with an over-under 1 lap, Marty, and they just shoved it down my throat and went 15 laps green flag. Good for them.
They said, you know what?
And I deserve it after that. Hats off. That was a really good race by those guys.
Look at your result from the D-main. Keith Jackson wins by 2.1 seconds on Connor Ross. Everyone that wins a preliminary event and as well as the feature tonight, they will get a special event sticker saying they won a special event. So Connor Ross second, Isaac Salas third, Donovan Ross finishes fourth, Sam Bachman fifth, Dean Reynolds wins the final transfer spot. Field is followed by Pat Boyce, Ross Corona, Joe Canellis, and Bill Calder. C-Main is starting in just a bit, so if you are participating in the C-Main, your race is coming up in a matter of moments. And this includes, but is not limited to, Steven Spees, Patrick Spangler, Jason Butterfield, Zane Walters, Keith Jackson, Connor Ross, Isaac Salas, Donovan Ross, Sam Bachman, and Dean Reynolds. Your race is coming up next. New session loaded up in just a bit. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. If you are in the C main, your lobby is up. Your lobby is up. We'll give the drivers a few minutes to get things all locked and loaded here and ready to go. I do want to show you something real quick. We'll go back into the booth for right now. The winner as well gets a Coast to Coast Driller. This is just an alpha preview of what it looks like. So it's like an Oscar, but in racing. But who doesn't love a Golden Driller?
Yeah, I mean, slim chance in heck I get that thing, but oh man, I'd love to add that thing to the shelf.
That'd be
thing's
one of the
pretty
coolest,
unique trophy.
That would be one of the coolest trophies in anybody's collection. So, practice currently underway as things stand. Let's pop up the times and show you what everybody is running. Keith Jackson is your quickest man. And this C main will take the top 5 and put him in the feature. Oh, look out, Jason Butterfield. Oh, man, he is getting pummeled. Rolling roadblock, turn 3. Just kidding, Jason. Just kidding, Butters. So, but looking at some of the drivers here. Let's watch Zane Walters go on board with him for a lap of the 3:17. Got to be careful with that berm at the same time there, Zach.
Yeah, you really do. I'm out here test driving, messing around, and man, Patrick Spengler's quick like always, Marty.
Oh, you're right on board with the high side banger too, and Patrick Spengler. Thought for a moment when I saw the roll bar paint, or what do they call it? The powder coating. Thought for a moment when I first saw the powder coating on that 39, I thought he actually made a design on trading paints because, you know, you're in the C main. You got some time to make a quick scheme.
Yeah, you know, and Patrick definitely is a big paint guy, but still waiting on Aiden Young if he's listening. He's doing mine, so whenever Aiden sends me mine will be on the car.
May have to text my good friend Brian Lawson, who we've seen in the past racing coast to coast, and getting a sprint car paint scheme done for CRSA, because I have a late model paint scheme based off the series I used to work at Rush. I have a big block painted off my show RS trackside, and now I need one for CRSA, maybe one for Lime Rock Speedway.
Of course, always got to represent the business.
Yes, always do. Looking at some other drivers here. I think we've seen a lot of these drivers here so far tonight. The only drivers we've yet to see are Spengler and Sam Bachman. Look at Keith Jackson, the 113. We just saw him three-wheeler. He's three-wheeling it through the corners, and he's not even touching the berm. That is common for a dirt modify, but for Winglets Micro, that seems a little bit uncommon.
Yeah, I definitely, if that's what you're supposed to do, I'm driving wrong right now, because I am not throwing it in there hard enough to lift that left front up, that's for sure.
Yeah, that left front is not even touching. Let's see if we get a good perspective from the, if I can find my mouse here. There we go. Let's get Keith Jackson, watch off of the left front. See if that wheel's not even touching the ground. The corners. You can just, at some points you can see that thing left. You can see it catch some air. Maybe a Dino on board can, nope, never mind. Maybe not a Dino on board. You know what? Maybe so. Why not? Take a look at this left front. Yeah, you can just see it barely left. Look at that.
Yeah.
How much it's lifting off the ground.
Yeah, TV3 gives you a pretty good view when they exit that one corner. You were correct. They're coming up there.
Holy, who was that?
Whoa.
You see what I just saw too?
Yeah, we're going to need a backup car, Marty, whoever that was.
That wasn't Steven Spees. I think... Dang, I don't want to say I think that wasn't Gino because we were watching him. But let's get you your starting lineup. On the pole, we've got Steven Spees, the detective, in the 55. Next to the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Jason Butterfield, that was the one that went off the ground. Next to Zane Walters in the 317. Row 3, Keith Jackson in the 113. Next to Canada Connor Ross in the 35. Row 4 is Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5. And Devo, Donovan Ross in the 05. Rounded out the top 10 and the field, Sam Bachman in the 107. And Dean Reynolds in the 79.
I wasn't aware that my teammate is now sponsored by Suave for Men. Apparently, Steven is. It's on the hood.
Hey, when you're making last-minute paint schemes that you just have to put decals on and go, there you go. I mean, you can make an iRacing paint scheme in seconds. Train paint. Paints takes, maybe just about an hour or so.
I might change his chat name to Rico Suave now.
In the Gambler Discord or something?
Green flag.
Yeah, in our Facebook chat.
All right, green flag is out. Good jump from Spees here. Field makes their way through turns number 3 and 4.
Big flip on the backstretch.
Holy Devo! With a wild flip. That should bring out the caution here.
Now it just came.
Donovan Ross with a wild flip to kick this race off. Probably making up for the caution that we missed in our D main earlier on tonight. Let's show you what happened here. Big checkup. Jason Butterfield goes around, then touches wheels with Dean Reynolds, and just look at the ride at the number 5 takes. The 05 to be specific. Right on board here with Devo. Check it up to avoid hitting anybody, and then touches, I think that was with Reynolds.
Those people sitting in that section got their money's worth tonight, Marty. That's two big wrecks.
If you're saying in turn 3, that is like the danger section. You sit in that section at your own risk. Anyways, ready to come back to the green flag. Put a lap in on the board. Not 2 laps on the board. Steven Spees, Patrick Spangler, your front row. We're back racing. 3 wide and up the track already. Went to 317 to Walters. Connor Ross has to back out of it as well. Final transfer spot. That's a good race between Zane Walters and Dean Reynolds for 5th. A lot of bad steering by Walters. Dino with a smooth 1 and 2 to take away 5th. Walters trying to fight back, Zach.
Yeah, we're going to have a big battle here on our hands. Dean's fighting, and now Connor Ross coming into the picture on the bottom.
And Connor underneath Reynolds for 6th. After a tough start, nearly gets into the left rear sneaker. Reynolds is sideways. He makes the save, though.
Yeah, I think he may have got a little help at the end of the front stretch there from Connor, but just a little love tap, no harm, no foul, keep on rolling.
Meanwhile, 3-car race for 2nd between Keith Jackson, Isaac Salas, and Patrick Spangler as the field makes their way into turn number 3. May make it a 4-car battle for 2nd if Zane Walters can close in.
Yeah, Zane knows he's got to get going because that gap to Connor is really closing fast. Connor knows the top 5 make it, and he's got to go hunting.
Delta is a half second. We've got 7 laps to go in our C main. A reminder, pole shuffle is coming up next. Again, pole shuffle is coming up next. Steven Spees, meanwhile, is checked out of the hotel with a 2.3 second lead. Here comes Walters low on Spangler for 4th.
Connor Ross.
Ross knew it was time to get to work, and can Canada Connor take 5th off for 2? Not just yet. Can he secure at the line? Walters up on the cushion. Walters edges him out for now with 4 to go.
Yeah, Connor really threw it in there, though, this time. If he gets a good 3 and 4, he should be able to clear him at the line for the final transfer spot.
Ross caught the berm, though. Walters has the final transfer spot. And time is running out for Canada Connor. 0.6 of a second, and Walters has turned on the afterburners, but Ross is trying everything to close it with 2 to go, Zach.
Yeah, he's got to throw the kitchen sink at him here. That was a good corner from Walters. Didn't really let Connor get the gap. Connor's got to drive hard.
Final lap is underway. You know who's going to win this one. It's Steven Spees. We're focusing on the race for the final transfer spot. Zane Walters or Connor Ross. Connor has a run going into turn number 3 and 4. Beautiful corner from Ross. He steals the final transfer spot from Zane Walters. Oh, my.
Wow, I thought when Connor made that mistake with 3 laps to go, I thought he was done for. That was a good comeback for that kid.
I thought he was done for too. Steven Spees with the win by 1.4 seconds on Keith Jackson. Isaac Salas third, Patrick Spangler fourth, Connor Ross fifth. They all transfer to the B main. Then it's Zane Walters, Dean Reynolds, Sam Bachman, Donovan Ross, and Jason Butterfield. Pole Shuffle is coming up next. This is just a solo practice session, so just a heads up there. Again, if you are in the Pole Shuffle, your name is Randy Shreves, Jeff Barker, Zach Chapman, Brandon Dittmer, Dan McLaren, Blake Chapman, Brendan Lacey, and Steven Goldner. Your Pole Scramble is coming up next. We'll take a break. Stay with us, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we were talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
It's time for another edition of iRacing Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we talked about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
We're back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we are good to go. We've got all 8 drivers with us that are supposed to be in our pole scramble. So with that being said, I think we are set to go. Here's how the pole scramble will work. We've got 3 separate races of 4 laps each. We will have our first race that will have 4 different drivers in it. That's 4 laps. Top 2 will move to the back of row 2, where they will join 2 separate drivers that are on the front row. They will race for 4 laps. Those top 2 will join another row. That's another front row in a separate race. That's 4 laps. That will determine our top 4. So we'll say this: the third race determine our top 4. If you finish 3rd and 4th in the second race, you start 5th and 6th respectively. And if you start in race 3, if you finish 3rd and 4th in race 3, you start in 7th and 8th respectively. I think that all makes sense for everyone, doesn't it, Zach?
Yeah, I believe so.
So any moment they will call drivers to the grid. We'll get things going here. There's Zach Chapman in the 72. That's Steven Goldner. Hey, look, that's a trading paint scheme. Steven's got a trading paint scheme set for us in this Vanderbilt ride. You see Blake Chapman, the salesman, in the number 20. Brenda Dittmer was quickest in our opening practice session earlier today. And we'll take a ride on board with him for a lap.
Yeah, and then I take it. Whoops. Man, these things are going to be a handful tonight, Marty.
that is a ride for the Spider Monkey. All right, so they have pulled everyone onto the pits, and I believe, nope, they're sending there's another group going out. We are good to go here for the pole scramble. So again, we'll pop up the times here for you on your screen. Now this will just be a practice session, and you won't really see anything when it comes to live timing when it comes to the race, because it's just one session, a practice session, and then we'll send a separate tour out if you guys understand here. Got Brendan Lacey in the 14, also with the custom scheme. Take a ride here on board for a lap with the Lowline Master. You mentioned earlier, hopping the berm can definitely be critical here, Zach.
Yeah, it really can. You know, not only for you, but everybody around you, because they've got to try to react to what they think your car is going to do after it comes down back on all fours.
You just don't know. Let us know who you're rooting for, by the way, and who's watching. Gary Sigelcal, forgot to mention him an hour ago. He's checking in, rooting for Isaac here tonight. Ooh, that's a wreck for, I believe that's Randy Shreves in 56. And it was. All right, so they're going to be advancing here in a minute. They're just giving drivers 10 minutes of practice time. Then they'll pull everybody on the pit road, and then we'll be good to go for action. So again, final moments here in warm-ups. There's Blake Chapman, who is currently 6th quickest of all the drivers out there. All the times here separated by a half second as things stand. There's Stephen Goldner doing a wheelie. There's Jeff Barker. Great to see the Brewerton Beast in the pole shuffle here in his Dirt Division number 513. Zach Chapman in his number 72. All right, so drivers are finishing up their laps. We'll pull everybody in, and then we'll be good to go here. Now that's a slider by Brendan Lacey, and now they're stopping everybody. And everybody pulling on in. And we are good to go. Okay, so once again, we have the first of 3 pole scrambles. Top 2 will transfer to the next one, and here is how they'll line up. Randy Shreves and Jeff Barker on the front row, and in row number 2, Zach Chapman and Brandon Dittmer. Again, 4 laps each. We will hand count these laps. We'll know the top 2 that will transfer in. Everybody in their positions. Give them one more lap before we go racing. Is it just me, by the way, Zach, real quick, or did Brandon put on a 360 sprint car scheme on his micro sprint?
Yeah, he did. I just realized that too. Yeah, that's why it looks so funky, I guess.
Yeah, so. Alrighty, 4 laps here. This first pole shuffle. Top 2 go to the back. Green flag's out. There's a checkup from row 2, but everybody's good to go, and it's Barker with the early lead, but contact with Shreves sets the 513 around. That's a heartbreak for Jeff Barker. He'll start 8th tonight, lap 1 led by Randy Shreves. Brandon Dittmer looking underneath in the 56. 2 laps to go. Dittmer takes the lead on lap 2. So Shreve's still in a transfer spot. About a second, I'd say, or 2 between Shreves and Zach Chapman coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go here. So it's Zach Chapman that will start 7th. Jeff Barker to start in 8th. Brandon Dittmer off turn number 4 will start 3rd. And our second pole scramble behind him will be Randy Shreves. So all right, so those are your top 2, and now we wait for our next set of 2 drivers to come out, which are Dan McLaren and Blake Chapman. I think they'll merge up with them, and we'll be good to go for our second. The drivers, by the way, Sunday in their prelim night, they were all running micros to get things set. Dan McLaren, I don't believe he was able to get his engine going. You can hear it sputtering, but I just don't think it's getting into the gear he wants. Yeah, McLaren has come to a stop. All right, McLaren's got it going now. I think he just needed to reset the car, or push the clutch in to get it out of gear. All right, everybody will come behind. And now Chapman or McLaren put it in the pits once again. I don't know what's going on with him, but now he'll be able to merge in. All right, I don't know if we're going green this time or if we're gonna put them all on for 1 extra pace lap here. Everybody's nose to tail, double file. We should be good to take the green flag. If not, we'll go 1 more lap. Now we'll go 1 extra lap here before we take the green flag. Make sure everyone is all set up nose to tail. Again, 4 laps, top 2. We'll compete for the pole here tonight. Green flag's out. Up the wall early went Randy Shreves off at turn number 2. Chapman looking for a run. Brandon Dittmer hits the berm off at turn number 4. Lap 1, led by McLaren. Dittmer looking for that final transfer spot to the final pole scramble, and he touches with Blake Chapman there, Zach.
Yeah, man. I mean, we warned the crowd tonight. Dittmer was really fast in warm-ups. He has these things figured out already. Not sure what he's doing, but I'd love to know. He is really quick.
And Dittmer able to clear Blake Chapman for second. Dan McLaren nearly with a moment. Off at turn 4, final lap of our second pole scramble. Dan McLaren, Brandon Dittmer, your transfer spots. Dittmer backed out of it. I think he almost had an issue that broke on him, but it's McLaren and Dittmer that take the transfer spots. Blake Chapman and Randy Shreves will start 5th and 6th. So now all we need are Stephen Goldner and Brennan Lacey. And they are coming out right now. So again, Lacey on pole for this. Stephen Goldner second. And row number 2 is followed by Dan McLaren and Brandon Dittmer. And so they will catch up. Randy Shreves is not in this, as he did not finish in the top 2. Unless, Zach, they said we had 4. Are we taking 5? All right, now they got Randy Shreves off. I don't know if we'll go green this time or next time by. And it sounds like we're going green here. Nope, we're going to go 1 more lap. Stephen Goldner just trying to show off for us with a wheelie. I think he's trying to take Dittmer to school.
Yeah, I think he knows he's gotta go because Dittmer's fast.
All right, who's starting on pole position? We're about to find out. Lacey with a good jump on Steven Goldner. Dan McLaren looks low on Brandon Dittmer. The 2 touch off at turn 2. The Bandybo car's got something special going as Brendan Lacey leads lap 1, followed by Steven Goldner. Dittmer went around. Dittmer went around, so likely he'll start 4th tonight and will pull her off track.
Yeah, looked like he got a little help.
So working lap number 3 at the moment. Again, Brendan Lacey out in front of his teammate. White flag is out. Final lap of our final pole scramble, and it's Brendan Lacey in the Vanderbilt Racing number 114 off for 4. He's your pole sitter for the Tulsa Shootout. Steven Goldner 2nd, Dan McLaren 3rd, and Brendan Dittmer will start 4th. So the top 8 spots are set. And all we just have left now is a 20-lap B main. So Roger Craig, Jack Hitt, Steven Bixler, Barry Goldner, Pat Boyce, Jeff Kemper, Kurt Schatzer, Mike Vecchio, and the drivers that transferred from the C main. Your race is coming up shortly. We'll step aside and take a break and load up for the B main. Stay with us, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Oh, actually, hold that. We will not go to break.
I was wondering if you saw that, Marty.
It just popped up on my phone after I hit the break button. Let's pop up Brendan Lacey here in the 114. And Steven Goldner's in here. Why not? We'll bring them both in. Boys, you guys are looking pretty good. Brendan, I'll start with you. How is your car feeling approaching tonight?
For the little bit of laps we got in it, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I'm liking it so far.
Zach, you want to ask Steven something?
I'd love to, maybe one of you guys screen share with me a little bit so I can watch your throttle control. Or you guys are staying in 3rd gear, right?
Yeah. I'm struggling. Don't watch me. I got a lot to learn. So.
You could have fooled me out there.
Now, we come into this real quick, guys. This will be a final question before we go to break. We go into this 55 laps. This is certainly going to be a race of patience. Like, how much patience do you need, though?
I'm kind of hoping it goes to groove. I've kind of found in the rough practice we got that once it starts to wear the middle out, you can get a top groove rolling. But, I'm going to be halfway deaf after hearing this chip all night. So, we'll see how that goes. But let's hope it goes to groove here.
Steven?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I definitely got to be patient. Try to keep the car under me. It gets a little hairy on the berm, so I might try to stay off that the best I can. I might just run the top and try to sell some t-shirts tonight.
Alrighty. Well, guys, best of luck, and who knows, maybe we'll be talking to one of you in victory lane with the driller.
Yeah, let's hope that's how this goes.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Brendan Lacey and Steven Goldner getting set to go. We'll take a break. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we are getting set to go for the B main here at the Tulsa Expo Center. This should be a fun one. 20 laps is our B main. We are taking the top 8. Getting some developing stories here too, Zach. A couple of things here. Keith Jackson not able to make it to the B main. That's a tough break because he's been fast throughout the night. So because of that, in exchange, Dean Reynolds has taken his place as an alternate. He will be filling in tonight. So nice to see Dean back with us. He'll have a chance to race in the feature. And also we're hearing something on the gambler side too, Zach, about your buddy Jeff Kemper.
Yeah, he's having some troubles. It won't. He even uninstalled iRacing after the update and reinstalled it, but it's still not letting him get past 5%. So if anybody out there listening has any ideas for Jeff, feel free to hop in our Discord and let him know, because he's running out of time.
Say either in Discord or even our chat on the Coast to Coast Racing Network or Slide Job Racing Network. Again, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. We'll give you a shout out on the air. See if there are any drivers that we have yet to talk about throughout the night. Zane Walters also in the show too after nearly missing the final transfer spot. Michael Vecchio on the 007 in this B main. Currently though 9th quick on the racetrack. Take a ride on board with him for a lap. You know, with how slick it is, you got to be really patient. Drivers earlier getting to about like maybe nearly 100 miles an hour. Now they're as slow as 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, definitely going to have some throttle control showcased in this feature. As I noticed in the info, it's going to start at 20%, so that'll be one of the more worn out tracks we've had for these so far, so we'll have to see what happens.
There's a look at the Bassman, Roger Craig at the 747. Getting set to go. Barry Goldner as well in the Vanderbilt 36. He's ninth quick. Quickest driver, though. On track as things stand, Patrick Spangler, the high side banger in the number 39 with a 10-10. Bunny hopping and hanging that car on for dear life. So, I believe they'll give them 2 more minutes of practice time. Then we'll be good to go for our last chance showdown. Steven Spees, we didn't talk about him a lot during that C-main either, Zach, but he had a heck of a race car.
Yeah, he walked out to a big lead, and he joined into this session a little bit later than everyone else, so pretty impressed with that time that he put down of that 10-1. He's going to be a tough car to beat depending on the draw. It's all luck of the draw and how you're gridded. You definitely don't want to get put at the back of the field tonight.
Absolutely. Who knows what is going to happen? Isaac Salas currently 3rd quick in his Super Dirt Car Series machine. And he's been one that's been trying to fight for spots throughout the night. Oh, what a 360. And then Spangler comes plowing.
Yeah, Patrick, he looked like he had a heat seeker on the front of that car. He was definitely out to get some blood there.
Target on the back of Salas, perhaps?
Yeah, most definitely. But looked good for us.
Yeah, good for us here for sure. There's like a Canada Connor in the 35. 4th quick as things stand. About 30 more seconds here before we get set to go. You see Dino and Spees having a good side-by-side and a little practice on both grooves.
Yeah, and that's really important to do. It's something, Jeff Barker probably wasn't the happiest with me, but he even said, we got to get better with it. I got into him a couple times. Now's the time you got to practice running side-by-side. These things are, similar to the midgets, but different in their own ways. So you got to practice running side-by-side. This is a small track, and you're going to have a lot of it.
Absolutely, you will. All right, so we should be good. Here is that you see Spangler go around along with, I think that was Jack Hitt. Here's a good gentleman, Jack Hitt. He loves the wingless cars. He loves running midgets. He loves the micro sprints. He's a big topless fan, to say the least. I don't mean that in the adult way, by the way. He's a big fan of the topless race cars.
Well, hey, don't sell him short. He could be a good big fan of both, Marty.
He could. Jeff says he's still a no-go. He's going to sit with the rowdies and watch somebody grab him a beer at the ramp.
I'm hoping he can get that figured out by midweek here. We've got a lot of fun races coming up.
Absolutely. We got Micros at Millbridge tomorrow. I may be running that with you guys. Who knows? SRX on both asphalt and dirt. I'm excited for that too. All right, so here we go for the B-Main. 20 laps, and this is how the field lines up. Roger Craig, the Bassman, on pole position next to Gentleman Jack in the 217. They're both admins. Somebody check and see if this was a setup. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Steve Bixler, the mayor, and Barry Goldner is outside. That's row number 2. Row number 3, Jeff Kemper in the 181 next to Michael Vecchio. James Bonds in the 007. Row 4, Steven Spees, the detective, in the 55. And the high side banger, Patrick Spangler, in the 39. Rounded out in the top 10, Isaac Salas, slide job in the 5, and Zane Walters in the 317. And in row number 6, it is Connor Ross, Canada Connor in the 35, and Dean Reynolds in the 79. We got no call for Jeff Kemp to grid as he is having technical difficulties, so we will go on with 11, and we are taking 8 to the big show.
Yeah, 20 laps, Marty, but if you're Dean or Connor right now at the back of the field, how patient can you really be?
Yeah, how patient can you be? I don't think there's a such thing as patience with 20 laps in this.
No, I mean, 10 seconds a lap on a good lap. I mean, they're going to click it off real quick.
Absolutely. Last chance showdown. Who's competing for a driller tonight? We're about to find out. Green flag's out. Big stack up and around. Barry Golder, Steve Bixler.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution
Michael
is out.
Vecchio getting a piece of it. We do not even make it through turn number 2. And the mayor is involved in this one. Take another look at what happened here. I believe it started in row 2 with Goldner and Bixler. Somebody may have spun the tires here, Zach. I don't know, though.
Yeah, you know, another thing the guys aren't used to, which I know Dittmer and I had the same issue in the pole scramble because I heard both our cars do it. We launched off in first gear and forgot we needed to shift. By the time we got to that corner, we're not used to having to shift with these, sprint car looking vehicles. So that's something you've got to get used to. You either want to start in third gear or whatever gear you're comfortable with. But you got to make sure you remember to shift or that's going to happen. You're going to get run over fast.
I think Bixler was trying to pass to the inside, and Barry Goldner was there, unfortunately. Roger Craig did not get really a good launch. Don't know if he was still in second or third gear. You look at the dashboard. He is in fourth gear. Just a heads up. He is in fourth gear coming to green. Third gear for Jack Hitt. Steven Spees in third. Isaac Salas, I believe, in third as well. Here we go, back underway.
Much smoother start up front this time.
Patrick Spangler catches the berm in turn number 2. Steven Spees in second. Now looks to go the longer way around, going for the race lead. Spangler again up on the berm. Lap number 2 in the books. Still double file. Looking for a run, I believe, in Salas. He catches the wall. Or check that may have been actually Jack in the 217. Everybody hanging on for dear life. We work lap number 4. Still 2 by 2 for this top spot. Speed's trying everything to get the lead. He's got it, Zach.
Yeah, somebody's got to relay the message to those front 6 guys. They're in the show right now. Settle down, but they do not care. They're driving like it's the last lap right now, Marty.
Final transfer spot, Dean Reynolds. He's enjoying what he's seen in front of him because that's a lot of wild racing. 7/10 of a second behind. It's Bixler as Spangler does the bunny hop. Merges in, though, properly. Trying to race both Craig and Walters for 5th. Walters a little bit too high, too. Go ahead.
Yeah, Spangler at one point was trying to battle Spees there for a second, but it seemed like he's just dependent on that bottom groove. He's stuck behind Roger right now. He's not willing to go up.
Still out in front. Good race for third. Jack Hitt and Connor Ross. The high side seems to be the place to be for right now. Could it be the place to be for the feature tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. You heard Bandy talk about it a little bit, hoping we had a 2-lane track. And you're seeing 2 lanes, and I think the longer this goes, the more dominant the top's going to get as we get a cushion.
Salas and Spees both laying down. Fastest laps of the race. Last time by, it was Spees better, though, by a couple of tenths. Final transfer spot, still Reynolds. It may go to Roger Craig as Reynolds is up on the top shelf for P7.
Yeah, Reynolds knows, nobody wants to be in that last transfer spot. You got to go try to get some cushion. That way, if he makes a little mistake, he's going to be okay.
Connor Ross and Zane Walters for 4th. Or check that for 3rd. Ross and Hitt. Canada Connor just laid down the fastest lap in 11:44 last time by. This was a man that came all the way from the E-main earlier tonight. So it's going to come down to a pair of salty dogs likely for the final transfer spot. Roger Craig and Steve Bixler. Craig currently has a big deficit of about 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think barring a mistake from Craig here, he might have this locked up unless we see a caution before this thing's over.
Patrick Spangler, Zane Walters for 5th.
As I say that, there's a car flipped over right now, Barry Goldner.
No caution.
No caution.
Stay green, though. He is completely off the racing surface. And Hotel, and that is a trip to the beer stand early. Still Steven Spees out in front using the high side. Trying to lay down some laps here, and he's running better laps by, that time he actually lost about a quarter of a second to Isaac Salas. So something to keep in mind, trying to get as good of a starting spot as possible. I don't know what spot this would be for tonight. There is lap traffic approaching. That is Bixler in the 75. Who is approaching Roger Craig. Final transfer spot on the line. And they're coming to the white flag for Steven Spies. 2 to go. And this will likely be 1 to go. Remember, if Bixler takes the checkered flag, takes the white flag before Spies takes the checkers, Bixler is automatically in the show, and that's the case. Bixler will race tonight. Unbelievable with what's just happened, Zach.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to Roger there. He was just running on the bottom. It just seemed like he was going a little slower. Not sure if maybe he wanted to take the night off and watch the show. Not accusing him of anything, but I don't see a big mistake here these last couple laps. He just took it easy.
Yeah, I don't know. That was strange, but it's Steven Spies that wins the B main. Spies, Salas, Ross, Hitt, Spangler, Walters, Reynolds, and Bixler will, race for the Golden Driller. We'll change sessions, track prep, warm-ups, and then it's showtime. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
It's time for another edition of iRacing Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we were talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
We're back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are moments away from feature time here at the Tulsa Expo Center for the Tulsa Shootout. Bring the cameras back on here once again. Bring it back into our broadcast booth if only a mouse can work. There we go. Marscala with you alongside Zach Chapman. Zach, as we get set to go for action, final thoughts.
Man, I hope I can hold on to it for 55 laps. 55 laps in these things is going to be a long time, even though the laps are short. You're fighting the wheel a lot throughout the lap, so you're going to have people who are real tired at the end of this here. Sorry about the giggle. Brennan Lacey got in the back of me in the middle of the corner there.
All good, all good. So you see all the drivers on track getting set to go. We have 16 drivers preparing. Hello as well. We did get a message come in from Gretchen Chapman. Obviously, we know who she's rooting for Blake tonight. So as we get set to go, do want to mention as well about what was going on with Roger. He said we could talk about it. He thought that Steve Bixler was the leader. I thought he said this word for word. I thought he was a leader passing me. That's what he said. And then he mentioned too at the end. I was moving it over for the car to pass. Bixler usually has a green car, so he thought that this was Steven Spieth, but it wasn't. That's pretty funny, I gotta admit. See all the drivers getting set to go. 16 drivers with us for this feature, I believe, and it's 55 laps. Zach, we talked about it with Brennan and Steven earlier on. But this is a race that's going to take a lot of patience to get it done.
Yeah, it's definitely going to test people's patience because it's, you know, I'm not as quick as Goldner, but there I could hold him up for 2 or 3 laps, and it's going to test the patience of the guy behind you, even if he's quicker. Hopefully, he doesn't move you out of the way tonight.
See if that's the case. About 2-3 minutes before we go racing for our feature. It should be a good one tonight. Got some other drivers. There's Steven Goldner. He's going to start outside front row next to his team. And again, congratulations to him yesterday. Picking up the championship in the Renegades. I believe if I recall correctly, his 3rd championship in the Renegades. His 1st since 2021. And we are actually going to get going right now with our feature time. Who is taking home a driller tonight for the Tulsa Shootout? We'll find out. Let's meet the field. Here is your starting lineup. On the pole, Brennan Lacey, the low-line master in the 114. Next to him, Steven Goldner in the 30. Row 2 at Soupy, Dan McLaren in the 88. Next to him, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Row 3, the salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20, and Randy Shreves in the 56. Row number 4, Shaggy, Zach Chapman in the 20, and the Brute to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Rounding out the top 10, the Detective, Steven Spies in the 55, and Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 6, Canada Connor Ross in the 35, and Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Row number 7, the High Side Banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39, and Zane Walters in the 317. Row 8, Dean Reynolds in the 79, and the Mayor Steve Bixler in the 75. Rounding out the field, that's actually the entire field correction. No call for Isaac Salas to grid. He may be waiting or is taking the rest of the night off. So, Zach, wish you the best of luck. See if you can make it to the end.
Yep, appreciate it. If not, you know, I'll be here to talk you through the end of it.
You got it. Alrighty. 55 laps for a driller. Who's it gonna be? How's it gonna be done? There's always a favorite pick at ASAP. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Micro Sprints, Tulsa Shootout, showtime! Off for turn number 4, Brennan Lacey leads the opening circuit. Steven Goldner in second, Brandon Dittmer, Dan McLaren racing for third down the back straight. The two nearly come to blows for the bottom step of the podium. Dittmer goes up the racetrack and he has third spot secured at the start-finish line. Blake Chapman in that number 20 trying to close in at the moment. Lap times around the mid-10 second mark. Brennan Lacey has the quickest lap at a 10:43 as he continues his way out in front. Shreves currently in the 6th spot. Closest race on track. Gotta go all the way back to 11 between Connor Ross and Zane Walters. Ross went from the E main to the A main tonight. Nearly makes contact with Walters. as the 317 just about scrapes the wall. Now we shift our marks to the second spot as Steven Goldner catches the berm. Brandon Dittmer puts the bumper onto the 30 as he looks underneath. Dittmer moves up to the second position and a beautiful corner exit using the berm to his advantage. McLaren, meanwhile, nearly makes contact with Steven Goldner in the second corner. They had to pump the brakes for just a moment. Meanwhile, it's still Brendan Lacey out in front with a 2.1 second advantage. Chapman now trying to put pressure on Dan McLaren for the third position. On board with the Salesman, finished second in points in the Renegades last night. Brennan Lacey still out in front by just about 3 seconds, just about a straightaway away from lap traffic. That's Dean Reynolds in the 79. We go back to the best race on track for third. Steve Bixler off the racetrack in turn 2. He is not in any harm's way. Likely will pull it off track and call it a night. That is the case as we continue to watch this 3-car showdown for third. McLaren a little bit sideways off for 4. Blake Chapman trying to use the cushion to his advantage. Back on board with the Salesman. Good exit off turn 2, back on the throttle first. Trying to pull up to the door. Just doesn't seem to work. Meanwhile, further back, a smorgasbord. Brandon Dittmer continuing to lose spots. I just got clipped from behind. I believe that was off of maybe Jack Hitt. But he hangs on to it. Back to the 10th position. Bigger mess up in front. Chapman around the outside of Dan McLaren. He takes away the 3rd position. Now he's trying to approach Steven Goldner as Brendan Lacey is in lap traffic. He's off at turn number 2. Go back to the race for 10th. Zane Walters, Brandon Dittmer, Connor Ross. All race for that final spot in the top 10. Low side just not working out really well for Brandon Dittmer. Mentioned back in the B main. A lot of drivers were testing out the high side. Seemed like it could be the place to be, and that is where a lot of drivers are at the moment. Ross underneath on Walters for 11th. He's trying to take that away. Patrick Spangler approaching them. Starting 13th after having a tough B main, but able to make it into the show just in time. Chapman now attacking Steven Goldner for the 2nd spot. Being held up because of Steve Bixler. Dean Reynolds, next driver, in the way. 23 laps in the books. Goldner decides not to use the slide job, but a good exit from the Salesman. Caution is out. First yellow of the night. It was for Jack Hitt, who has spun it. Appears to be in turns number 3 and 4. How about that? About a 22-lap start to things, nearly halfway. And that is when our first yellow flag flies. Give it up for the drivers. Here's a look at what happened to Gentleman Jack. Catches the wall down the back. And Steven Spees, just a slight touch, sends him sideways. For a quick ride on board. Find a way past Randy Shreves. That was about around the top 5 at that point. Catches up to the field, so about a 3-second lead for Brendan Lacey is evaporated as we'll have our first double file restart of the night. We will watch this from an aerial shot all the way up in the rafters. Brendan Lacey, Steven Goldner, row 1, Blake Chapman, Dan McLaren, row 2. Randy Shreves rounds out the top 5. Here we come back to the green flag with 30 laps to go. Steven Goldner catches the wall, nearly 4 wide for a moment. Everybody hanging on for right now. Goldner back down in 3rd. The Salesman has taken away the 2nd spot off for turn number 4. Good job from Blake Chapman to use it to his advantage, but Stephen Goldner all over the tail tank. This is just helping out Brendan Lacey pull away at the same time. Randy Shreves in fourth. The mess is on though for fifth between Speeds and McLaren. Two people lose the spots that just touched wheels with McLaren, but the 88 hangs on to it for right now. Brandon Dittmer's found its way back up into 7/8. Jeff Barker as well making a run. In the number 513, Dittmer shows his nose down low. Nearly touches with McLaren in the race for sixth. Spider Monkey makes his way back up. Remember, he was one of the quicker drivers in practice earlier today. Oh, he's on the berm though. Bad exit for the Spider Monkey. That puts him back to ninth. 3 wide off return 2. Barker shuts the door on Dittmer. That's the race for 7th position on the track. Been able to clear. Let's look back up towards the front. Steven Spees attack Randy Shreves for 4th. This was near the area where Jack Hitt spun out. Also have Stephen Goldner and Blake Chapman still racing on track for P3. Let's get back to that danger zone. That is turn 2. Ross, Walters. You got Spangler, Dittmer now in the middle, 3 wide. That is too close for comfort there, though, folks. Slider attempt by Head, and Brandon Dittmer goes around, put it on the apron, but the caution is out. You saw what happened. Let's give you another angle. Dittmer was definitely looking like he was getting a little frustrated out there. Risky slider by Jack Hitt, puts both of them, puts everyone 3 wide. Walters tries with it. No! Dittmer caught the back of Spangler. Maybe a little too much throttle. Either that or Spangler had to check up. Let's ride on board with the Spider Monkey. He had to deal with Connor Ross, and he had just caught him. So again, second yellow flies here, with about 20 laps to go. So our second double file restart coming up here in just a moment. Steve King Foundation pace truck is in. Brendan Lacey has the right to fire, and he's got Blake Chapman next to him for the first time tonight.
Green flag.
Blake Chapman caught sleeping. That helps out Stephen Goldner take the second position. Stephen Spees now looking for a podium on the 20.
Right,
Caution's back out.
Caution is out.
And that is Dittmer around once again. And so that will put things, I believe, to a single file restart, as we did not complete that lap under green. Dittmer was restarting from the back of the field. He just caught Jack Hitt briefly again. Let's ride on board with the Spider Monkey. That just caught the tire. And around he went. He's got to be frustrated, though, with himself in that race car. Doubled up once again. With 20 laps to go, I believe maybe our final double file restart of the night. We will see, though, as we're back to green. Lacey holds serve. Chapman looking for a run underneath, but that doesn't work either. Oh, he's got company. Spees has company for Randy Shreves, who takes away 4th. Spees trying to put the slide job on, but unable to do that. And Shreves has 4th secured at the start-finish line. And McLaren now looking for more spots here. A lot of checkups. One driver around. He saves it, though. Jeff Barker. 3 wide, 4 wide. Connor Ross hanging on to it. Somehow everybody hangs on for dear life. Speed's now looking for a run on Shreves for 4th, and now we go back to yellow. Waiting for a lap for that to happen, and I believe it was Zane Walters, Connor Ross, and Dean Reynolds. There's the checkup that Barker had with Spangler. Don't know how everyone was able to keep it straight here. It was bumper cars in turns 3 and 4. Then Walters just got the back of Dittmer. That sent Connor Ross around. Reynolds having to check up and avoid it. Right on board with Canada Connor. He caught the back of Jeff Barker, who was hanging on for dear life. Like I said, everybody was hanging on. You see, just got the back. Nice miss from Dino. And all replays tonight brought to you by Malcolm's Mills Mill Writing. Biggest mover of the race so far. Let's give credit to Spees of that. Let's go give credit to Spangler in that number 39, who is up 5 spots. Dropped the green flag, and same to Steven Spees, who restarts inside row 3. He started in 9th and is up to 5th. Lacey to bring us back to the green flag. 15 to go. He has led every lap so far tonight. Chairman trying to look low. He checks up. Oh, here we go. Big one. Randy Shreves, Brandon Dittmer, Zane Walters, back to yellow. Took a couple seconds longer for a yellow flag to fly. That should put us through a single file restart. We'll have to see what race control says. Again, Randy Shreves was the first one to go around outside of row number 2. May help out a lot of drivers that were not in that accident. Got caught for the back of McLaren. Spangler checked up. Walters, Bixler. A bunch of them. He's right on board with McLaren. Shreves was able to 360 it. Even when spinning, I don't know if he'll be able to retain his spot, because he kept the wheels going. And we are being told Shreves is going to restart in 4th. That's big. You see him right there, Randy Shreves to restart in 4th. Steven Spees 5th. Zach Chapman may have had the biggest factor of anyone. He's up to 7th. Try this once again. Blake Chapman low for 2nd. Can he take it away? Oh, he had to check up. Saw him with the wheel hanging on for dear life with a handful. That allows Brendan Lacey to pull away. See if Golder can clear the salesman opportunity. Can. Randy Shreves back in 4th. Steven Spees rounds out the top 5. Let's see if Spees can get that 4th position back from the salesman. But Spees has company behind from Shaggy in that 72. Also, Brandon Dittmer with a run on Steven Spees. Where'd the Spider Monkey come from? Both sides working well for him after a couple of spins. He's in 6th, looking for 5th on the detective. 10 laps to go in the Tulsa Shootout. Brendan Lacey's led every lap so far tonight. 1.1 second lead. Dittmer's in 4th. Contact between Shreves and Spees. Spees has to check him. He's lost a couple of spots. And now he's getting ragdolled out there in that number 55. The detective was in 5th. He's now back in 10th. Shreves and Chapman racing for the final spot in the top 5. A lot of full body contact around one Zach Chapman. And the caution flag is out. I don't know if it was for him, though. I think the yellow is for this man right here, and it is. Patrick Spangler in the 39, who has been in the back for this entire race. Oh, more contact there with Steven Spees. So I don't believe he was looking at that rear view mirror. He's looking what happened to the high side banger. Caught up with Spees, and upside down he went. Right on board. Watching that race happen in front of him. Didn't even lose the GoPro on that ride. Because we do have 10 laps to go in this race, every restart from now on is single file. Big benefactor if you're Brendan Lacey. 7 to go in the Tulsa Shootout. Now could Stephen Goldner have a chance? Just have to find out what happens. Blake Chapman trying to look around the outside. Brandon Dittmer now looking for a podium spot. 6 laps to go. This is just what Brendan Lacey wants to deal with. Dittmer catches the berm. The berm's been helping him out make passes throughout the night. 5 laps to go in Tulsa. .8 of a second lead for the 114 of Brendan Lacey. This time by, he's got 3 laps remaining, but Steven Speeds has crashed. Stand by, he's up and over, he's in the infield. Will stay under the green flag. Randy Shrews and Jack Hitz, your best race on track. That's the race for Fett. Gentleman looks underneath, he's your biggest mover, started 12th and is up to 6th. 2 laps to go. Brendan Lacey will see the white silk in the air. 1 lap to go. The Bandybuilt Racing Velocity Race Design 114. He's led every lap so far today. Off for turn 4. He's about to add a golden driller to his trophy collection. Brendan Lacey wins at Tulsa. Stephen Goldner second. Blake Chapman tried the last lap pass but finishes 3rd. Brandon Dittmer 4th. Randy Shrees 5th. Jack Hitt crashed at the white flag. But Brendan Lacey, the low-line master, about to do some burnouts. Let's look at a couple of replays here. While we wait to talk with everybody else, this is Steven Spees. This is how he ended up 12th. He lost it all by himself, caught the berm, and flipped over the Jersey barrier. This was Jack Hitt, finishing in the top 10. Does not get the biggest mover award. That will go to Steve Bixler. Caught the wall by himself. Again, that was at the white flag lap. That was the reason why the caution flag did not come out. That was coming to the white. Lacey had already taken the white flag. But, man, what a race. That was a fun one tonight. We're just waiting for Blake Chapman. And we can move him in right now. And you know what? Brandon Dittmer's in here too. Why not? We'll bring in the Spider Monkey who finished in 4th too. I don't care. Brandon, what a recovery, man, from the
I got
4th.
3rd.
Oh, you got 3rd?
I got 3rd.
How'd you get 3rd?
I snagged him. What does my relative say? 8
Oh my
8
goodness.
thousandths of a second.
Okay, we need to take a look at this then. We need to look at this. I thought our timing had Blake for 3rd. We're watching it in slow-mo, but this was a wild night for you. How did you recover and get back up to 3rd at the end?
I don't know. I felt like everything I was trying in the middle of the race there just wasn't working, and all of a sudden, my car just started hooking up, and I just started making my way through traffic. This is so much fun. Oh my Lanta.
What do you enjoy about these micro sprints so far in day 1?
Oh, I just love the way they handle. Just like obviously, you get a little bit sideways and you lose a lot of bit of ground, but as soon as you get them wound back up, oh boy, do they go.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Oh, you guys for the broadcast. Roger for Coast to Coast. Training Wheels Racing. We're gonna have fun with these things this season, and we're going for the championship on Hometown Heroes nights. At least I'm gonna try to. I can't wait to run these things for a season.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what turns out here at the end. So we'll let you go. Great job, great recovery to get on the podium.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
You as well. Again, the Spider Monkey having 2 spins tonight and coming back to finish 3rd at the end. Your second place finisher, Stephen Goldner in car number 30. Stephen, walk us through your race tonight.
Started out okay. A couple laps in, got a little bit worried about fuel. Couldn't really save it. Blake was, chomping on my heels most of the race, so I was trying to not worry about fuel too much. I was talking to Blake there, and he said he didn't even know it was a concern. I was saving for about 5-6 laps just to try to make it. That's why I went back to the bottom there. But I mean, I had nothing for Lacey anyways. He was in another league, and it definitely showed all night. He had good restarts and could really just drive away from all of us. So he's definitely got something figured out pretty early, and car looks good. So it's all good. We'll run second to him any day.
So pretty much to say the least, you were just focused on beating Chapman at the end then, or Dittmer.
Yeah, I mean, I was focused, last from lap 15 to lap 7. I was worried about fuel, and then I was like, okay, I'm good now. I can start running, and then I'm like still losing time to Lacey, so I'm like, all right, we're just gonna try to hold off Blake and Dittmer there for second, and at least sit on the podium.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Ross Grenett, Velocity Race Designs, Moon and Racing Engines, Fits Perfect Photography, all the guys at Vandybuilt. Just Lacey and I and my dad racing tonight, but it was still a heck of a lot of fun. I guess Ross was here earlier, didn't make it through the D main, but yeah, you guys for the broadcast, Roger and everyone with putting this deal on. It was a heck of a lot of fun.
Definitely was. Great job tonight, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's on the plate.
All right, sounds good, man. Thanks, Steven.
Yep, for sure.
Now we go to your winner tonight, Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. Brennan Lacey leading all 55 laps. How's that feel?
Since I grew up like 20 minutes from this place back home, I love this place. So it's glad I was able to get that one done.
So you know this track well. That kind of gave you a little bit of an advantage.
Way too many years and way too many late nights to know exactly what that track would do right there.
So I got to ask, because Steven brought it up, that opening set about just before the halfway mark, were there any concerns about fuel a little early?
Yeah, absolutely. First thing I checked in the car was because we were wondering what's it going to do, and just so everybody knows, if you run 55 laps green to checkered, you're 3 laps short. So we luckily was able to get big enough lead. And he's like, you might as well just save. And halfway through the race, I told him I was 3 to the good, and he was still trying to save 3 laps. So it was kind of just fell in my favor out there. But I wish I could have seen that track go higher up on the fence and a little bit more grooved. It was pretty juiced all night. I mean, I didn't leave the bottom. So other than that, I wish it would have went 2 groove, because these things they'll be a blast and some tight racing when it comes to that.
So was it experience where you felt like you had the better car than everyone else, or where did you feel you had a better overall?
I would say it's feel-wise, just because these things don't have enough weight to them to wear the track in as fast as any other cars since the midget here. So I knew the bottom groove was going to last longer than it would in a midget itself, and then it wouldn't go up as fast. So many a nights watching the shootout where these guys are running the fence after fence after fence, and the guy on the bottom makes a late charge. That's why. So just a little bit of knowledge, I'd say, of the place that let me get it down there.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Big thanks to Vandybuilt, as always. I appreciate Goldner being in there, too. That was kind of a fun deal here. Looking forward to running these things. I hope they make a non-wing and a winged league out of these, because they're going to be an absolute blast. So appreciate them. Velocity Race Designs, you boys for coming on. Hopefully it was a decent show for you tonight.
Really was. Go make some room for that trophy, all right?
Yeah, we're pretty excited to see how that turns out.
All righty. Congratulations, Brendan.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Brendan Lacey, your winner in Victory Lane. Zach, I'll put the cameras back on to you and I here once again. Final thoughts on tonight. That was a good race tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was good racing, and can't believe we went like 25 laps to start the race there. Green flag, unbelievable. At that kind of track too, it just shows they might put on a lot of green flag racing this season. I think you muted me during the race because I asked if you could hear me, and well, you couldn't. But Roger did announce, so we're allowed to say, but they're going to run Sunday nights.
Nice.
So that's pretty exciting, and we're definitely all looking forward to it.
Awesome to hear. Yeah, we're looking forward to that, that's for sure. So I thought that was a spectacular race. The micro sprints are going to put on a fun show. And now I think I need to start doing some testing for Millbridge tomorrow, because that I don't know if we're going to be broadcasting that. I may do a perspective stream of me racing, but I'm excited to see what goes down. Hopefully I'll see you there too, Zach.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be there, Marty, for
Awesome.
sure.
That's going to do it for us here tonight. Time to pack up the SageNet Center. On behalf of everyone here at the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, Preston Kramer, the great group of admins. On behalf of my broadcast partner tonight, Zach Chapman, Marty Scala saying so long. Congratulations to Brendan Lacey. He takes the driller. He's your Tulsa Shootout champion. So long.